It's me and my uncle.
NFL Weekly Rundown, Super Bowl week. Danny, it's going to be our last show for a little while.
For a little less than a year.
Well, do you think we'll do a draft show?
Cool. Yeah.
Kind of pre-draft show, maybe in May or April? Something like that. I don't exactly know when the draft will be, but we could do that. We did it last year. Did you watch the Pro Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
Did you enjoy it?
Well, I only watched one. And the one I watched was like 71 to 53 maybe? Or 60.
And it was the flag football game?
Yeah.
Who was the star? Who had the biggest game? You can see I didn't watch any of it.
Maybe Chase.
Jamar Chase had a big day.
Yeah, and NFC won.
Okay, I think I read they had won a few in a row now. Okay, well, the Pro Bowl is kind of a nice, fun event in between while we wait for the Super Bowl. Now, I kind of came with no notes, so I'm going to rely on you to sort of do some of the heavy lifting on this episode. Is the last point spread we saw, was it it was Chiefs by 1.5? Is that right?
I don't know.
I think so. But I watched a show last night that said a lot of people are picking the Eagles, which might push the point spread towards the Eagles. So it could be that the Chiefs are the favorite today, but by the time Sunday hits, Sunday morning, it might be that the Eagles are favored. But
What time is the game?
Probably like 5:30 or somewhere around there.
Either way, it's Sunday. I'm watching the whole
You'll see the whole thing.
Until the very end.
Because there'll be a long halftime and a ton of commercials, but it'll be over well before like 9:30. It'll be maybe 9 o'clock. So yeah, it could go into overtime, I guess. But did you
Who's doing the halftime?
I don't even know. Nobody I've ever heard of or am that interested in hearing. I guess I don't know. I think it's a rapper or like a R&B. Oh boy. There we go. Okay. But let's talk about the game. Like, it's going to be in New Orleans. It's going to be a lot of fans on both teams.
I've been waiting to ask you this question.
Yeah, let's hear it.
From the stadium, how have the Eagles played New Orleans?
This year?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Actually, the Eagles might have crushed the Saints in New Orleans.
Okay.
And I think the Chiefs did beat New Orleans this year. It might have been the game Carr was hurt. Derek Carr got hurt. And that was in Kansas City, though. So,
So, Eagles play really well in New Orleans.
well,
But it might just be that.
the
No,
team that they
Saints.
played, that could be too. I would put more stock in who was on the field playing them than where they played. So I don't think I'd necessarily look at it and say, ooh, the Eagles have a big advantage because they play so well in New Orleans. That was against the Saints, who we know were a pretty lousy team this year.
Their only good player might be Chris Olave or Taysom Hill.
Kamara.
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara is pretty good. Yeah, and they got a guy on defense. I think his name is Demario Davis. He plays linebacker. But the Saints, they don't play a game for, 6 months? So we should probably focus on Eagles and Chiefs. What do you expect to see when Philly's got the ball?
Hand it off.
They're going to give it to Saquon?
Yeah.
Yeah, the number 1 draft choice in our fantasy Super Bowl game.
Obviously.
I took him, yep. So, yeah, you think a lot of Saquon Barkley. But do you think the Chiefs are kind of expecting that, too?
Yeah.
Interesting thing, I was thinking about the play that Hurts sneaks on, the little tush-push they do. Buffalo tried to do that, I think, a couple times against Kansas City. Kansas City stopped them. Now, the Eagles run that play better than any other team. So when it's like 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, it just seems like good. I hope she gets her head stuck in there. When it's 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, the Eagles almost have a 100% chance of converting. But do the Chiefs have a chance to stop them? Because big Chris Jones in the middle of that defense and some of their other defensive players actually stopped it against Buffalo. But again, Buffalo doesn't run that play as well as Philadelphia does. If they gear up against the run, do you think Hurts could have success passing the ball? Or do you think that would spell trouble?
Who are the Chiefs quarterbacks?
Well, Trent McDuffie, he was a second-team All-Pro. So one of the best 4 to 6 cornerbacks in the league.
Who will he be guarding?
It's hard to know if he will cover A.J. Brown all over the field, or I don't know. McDuffie, sometimes these corners, they just play one side of the field. So it really depends on which side Brown and Smith line up.
Is he their better one?
He is their better one. So I would imagine if the Chiefs decide we want McDuffie on Brown, if we want McDuffie on their best receiver, I think McDuffie would cover Brown all game long.
Okay,
That would
how about their
leave.
other one?
I don't know who their other cornerback is actually. He's okay. Devontae Smith is probably better than okay, right?
Yeah. He's also pretty fast, right?
Pretty fast, yep. So you wonder, that'll be an interesting matchup. Does McDuffie follow Brown all over the field? And if he does that leave Devontae Smith maybe open? Because McDuffie will be a harder guy to beat, right, in coverage.
Do you think they will double coverage at all?
Brown? Well, if you start double covering either of the Eagles receivers, you're probably taking away from somebody in the run defense. So I don't know that they're going to sacrifice anybody in the kind of near the line of scrimmage, because their main thing on defense has to be, we need to stop Saquon, right? So if you're trying to stop Saquon, it would seem to me like then you've got the outside guys are going to be one-on-one,
Yeah.
right? Maybe in 3rd and long, you could think about double covering Brown. But I think for the most part, their plan has to be our corners have to just match up one-on-one, because we need everybody else to be helping with the run. Yeah, you got something? Question?
How long do you think the longest play of the game is going to be?
Ooh.
I would say, it's the 2 best teams.
Yeah.
Well,
Pretty
probably
good.
not the best teams, but
Pretty good defenses, too. They're not bad defenses by any means.
I would say maybe 60 yards.
60? I was going to say 40. I was going to say maybe somebody like Worthy could have a big play, or Saquon. I think they're the most likely guys on each team to bust one.
Yeah.
Worthy.
Smith.
Devontae has the speed to break one. Yeah. A.J. Brown can make a big play.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs probably have 3 or 4 receivers all capable of making a big play.
Do you think there's going to be a Hail Mary?
No.
Do you think if there is, have either teams success on Hail Marys? Do you know?
Well, think about it, because you got to be losing games usually to need a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
And
And
they've been pretty much winning kind of easily, right? The only Hail Mary I can remember working this year was against these guys, Jaden Daniels at Washington.
which was the craziest thing I've ever
Craziest, most painful. That game turned the entire Bears season into garbage.
When I saw Bears score a touchdown, I almost went down like Bears win.
Yeah.
Surprise.
With like 25 seconds left or whatever it was, right?
And then Jaden Daniels.
Just rips the heart out.
And I like Jaden Daniels, honestly.
I know. That
that made me not like him as much.
Right. That was a painful moment in Bears history. Luckily, we're just turning the page and moving forward with a new coach, a new attitude.
Yeah.
Right? In 2025.
Hopefully my mom is right about them. Going to have a good year.
Man, that would be awesome. They got a big offseason coming up. You got to get some help on the offensive and defensive lines. And I think you got to get some people to help out Caleb. You know?
Oh, do you think the Jaguars are maybe going to draft that Hunter dude?
Hunter? I've seen some, a lot of people.
They have Trevor Lawrence, which is Kento Bombers.
Probably not going to pick a quarterback then, right? The Jags. Usually what they do these drafts ahead of time, these mock drafts, where some of the experts will say this is what we think's going to happen. And I think some of the things that I've seen lately is Travis Hunter going number 4 to, I think, New England. Or wait a minute, that would be the Giants. Maybe they had the Giants trading up to take a quarterback or something. Because I kind of think that Tennessee, they're saying, we want to take like an elite player. I don't know that there's an elite quarterback. So that would tell me that Tennessee is probably thinking about pass rusher, edge player, Abdul Carter from Penn State, or Travis Hunter, the Heisman winner who kind of does it all, receiver and corner.
So they think they're going to have a good year with no starting good quarterback?
Which team? Tennessee. I think they're thinking they're just going to take a chance. Maybe they'll look for a free agent. Maybe they look for Cousins or Darnold or, I don't know who's going to be out there. But I guess your question was, who will the Jags take? I don't exactly know where the Jags pick. I know it goes 1, Tennessee, 2, Cleveland maybe? Or maybe 2. I think Cleveland is 2, New England is 3, the Giants are 4 or something like that. So I mean, the Giants, Browns, and Titans could all be thinking quarterback. If they all were to take quarterback, that'd be good for a team like the Jags, because the Jags aren't going to take a quarterback. Yeah. So they want somebody like Abdul Carter or Hunter to fall to them.
Because if they have another wide receiver, they might actually have a pretty good year.
Yeah, and there's a receiver named McMillan from Arizona who's supposed to be like a top 5 or top 10 guy. A pick that can be kind of boring but can help teams is when teams draft offensive line.
I don't know how that can
I don't know, and Arrow's too moronic to figure it out. She's like, why did Quincy figure it out and I can't? Because we're dumb. Okay.
How is she gonna get it out?
I know. Well, we'll figure that out when the show is over. So who are the Jags going to take? I don't really know, but we'll see. I was going to say, sometimes it's boring to take an offensive lineman, but that can help teams too. Yeah. Like the Bears, if they were to take an offensive lineman at pick number 10, I think it would be boring, but it would be good. Because they need somebody to block for Caleb.
Do they have 10?
I think they're 10. 9 or 10, something like that. I'm pretty sure 10. Okay, so we talked a little draft. We definitely talked about when the Eagles have the football. What about when the Chiefs have the ball? What do you expect to see when Kansas City is in possession of the football?
The Eagles have, I'm not going to say great, but close to great defense.
A lot of good players on every level of the defense. You've got Jalen Carter disrupting in the middle. Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell, young corners on the back end. You've got Zach Bond at linebacker. So you have players.
Is Jalen Carter pretty good?
Jalen Carter, yeah, he's the D tackle. Yep, so.
It's amazing how dumb my dogs are.
Yeah, I know. I'm not amazed because I've seen it enough. They are dumb, but oh boy. Let's just press on. So you think when the Chiefs have the ball, yeah, the Eagles have some talented players. Will the Chiefs be able to overcome that? They got past Buffalo, they got past Houston, and when I think about the Chiefs offense, like it's still Mahomes and Kelsey. But you've got players like Kareem Hunt, and you've got different receivers. Like they don't have a great receiver, but they have a lot of good receivers.
And Jennifer Worthy
And Worthy-
is probably their best.
Worthy could be the difference maker because I don't know that as good as DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell are, I don't know that they have the speed to match Xavier Worthy.
Really?
Worthy might be the fastest guy on the field on Sunday.
So you think Worthy's gonna have the big game?
Well, he's going to be the fastest. Now, sometimes you can stop the fastest if you take good angles. You don't necessarily have to be the fastest guy in
Do you
defense.
think Worthy or Smith are faster? Or which one's faster?
Ooh. I would
I
probably
would say
guess.
Smith.
Would you really? I would guess Worthy, but I don't know. I thought Worthy ran like one of the fastest 40-yard dashes like in NFL history. But that's with no pads on. That's in shorts and a tank top. So that doesn't really tell you how fast a guy's going to be when he gets on the football field.
Yeah.
But so yeah, we mentioned the Eagles have pretty strong defense. It'll be interesting to see if the Chiefs run into any issues on offense. What I did notice is the Eagles have been forcing a lot of turnovers in the playoffs so far. Seemed like Washington had a bunch of turnovers. Yep.
Did they announce the Rookie of the Year yet?
No, that must be probably Friday night or Saturday night. I think they'll announce that. I think that you can probably,
Lay it on Jaden.
I think you can count on it happening. So even though it hasn't been announced, I think it's pretty safe. I think the one award that is still up for grabs is the MVP.
Yeah.
I think that one's still. Is it Lamar? Is it Allen? It's going to be one of the two. And I think Saquon will probably end third in the voting.
Maybe.
But they rarely give that to running backs in this day and age. Anything else to analyze in this big Super Bowl game before we make a pick?
Or
Yeah, before we make a pick. I think it's probably going to come down to
rematch of 2 years ago.
Yep, rematch 2 years ago, and the Eagles won. I think it was, or the Chiefs won. I think it was 34-31. I think, or something by 3 points.
So a close game.
It was a close game. I don't remember a whole lot about it. It was still Jalen Hurts. It was still AJ Brown, but Saquon Barkley wasn't there, and a lot of the guys on defense.
Jason Kelsey.
Kelsey was there. That's true.
Kelsey was there.
Yeah.
Now he's not.
Interesting thing I heard about one of the Eagles' offensive linemen, I think his name is Landon Dickerson.
Oh, yeah, I know him.
He was asked what it would take for him to miss the game because he's been dealing with an injury. He said I would have to be stretchered off. Like
What does that
a
mean?
stretcher is like what you carry somebody out on when he's injured. So basically he's saying if I can't walk, that's the only way I'm getting out of this game.
Is he even going to watch the game?
And he's playing. What he's saying is
Oh.
I'm playing unless I'm basically put down on the ground to the point where I can't walk.
Is he going to be guarding?
Well, he's going to be one of the
Jones?
offensive linemen probably because I think he's either a guard or a tackle. But everybody on that Eagles offensive line is pretty good. The Chiefs, if you remember, they had 2 all-pro offensive linemen, Joe Tooney and Creed Humphrey. They've got a guard named Trey Smith, who's good. But their other 2 guys, I think at least their left tackle, unless Tooney maybe plays left tackle now, but they've had some issues at some of their spots on the offensive line. So if I was judging the offensive lines, he's a defensive lineman, yeah. Yeah, if I was judging the offensive lines, I'd probably lean towards the Eagles having the better one. Okay, we've analyzed the matchups, we've analyzed the line play, we've talked a little draft on the side. Do you think it's time to make our Super Bowl prediction?
Sure.
Who's going first?
I need to think in my head.
Need to think? Should I go?
Sure.
Okay. I think I've been kind of a Chiefs hater all year, you know?
Definitely me.
Because think about it.
Too.
when we picked our Super Bowl teams at the beginning of the season, you picked Baltimore from the AFC, I think. And I picked Miami and Lions. Yep, but we both picked Lions. Didn't pick the Chiefs, the 2-time defending Super Bowl champion. About 10 weeks into the season, when the Dolphins were stinking, you said, hey, you can pick a different team, Uncle Mark. I picked Buffalo. Not, just dismissing the Chiefs, saying nope.
And I changed. And I picked Buffalo.
Buffalo, right. Neither of us counted on the Chiefs. So now it comes to the Super Bowl. And am I just going to keep doubting them? Why would I doubt them? Their track record in the playoffs, their track record in the Super Bowl is that Mahomes finds a way. I'm going to go with that idea that Mahomes finds a way. I'm going to take the Chiefs 30, Eagles 28, in what I think is going to be a fun, exciting Super Bowl.
You're picking smart. I'm picking with my heart.
Heart. That's okay, though.
And also, think about it. 2 years ago, they didn't have Barkley.
Correct.
This year, they have Barkley.
That's a big improvement.
Big improvement. But they also lost Chase and Kelsey.
So that's the thing, is you see how these teams lose a little bit in one spot, but then they gain in other spots from year to year.
And Chiefs.
Think about that. They didn't have Worthy 2 years
Yeah.
ago. That's a lot of speed to have. They didn't have Trent McDuffie, I don't think, 2 years ago.
So this is going to be a good Super Bowl.
I believe that that's accurate. I hope it is, because everybody, it's almost like a holiday.
Yeah.
The way that it's such a big event, you don't want to be disappointed with some stinker of a game. The only way I would want to see a blowout Super Bowl is if the Bears won and the team that they were playing got crushed.
Yeah.
Then I want a blowout. If it's not the Bears, I want a tight game. Well, wait a minute. If it was the Packers, I want to see them crushed.
Even
like 70-0.
If the Jets and the Packers
Oh.
played in the Super Bowl, I wouldn't even watch it, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. I might see what's on the other channels. Okay, you're ducking this. You're ducking this. Yeah, you're going to make a selection?
I think it's going to go into overtime.
That's quite a prediction, because only one Super Bowl has ever gone into overtime, I think.
Which was
Or
last
wait a
year.
minute. No, last year and New England, Atlanta. Maybe two.
I think they should go tails.
They should go tails. Oh, when they pick the coin toss? Okay, well, what I think is if you win the coin toss, you say, we will play defense. We will kick off first. Remember, that was the mistake the Niners made last year. They said, we want the ball. Well, that gave Mahomes the ball second, where he knew they needed a field goal to tie and a touchdown to win. So I think there was a spot in the on fourth down where if the Chiefs had gotten the ball first, I don't know that they would have gone for it. But knowing that the Niners had already scored, it gave the Chiefs, well, we have to go for it because we can't punt. Because if we punt, we lose. So they went for it, they got it, then they scored that touchdown at the end of the game.
I think one of the teams is going to score a touchdown to win it.
On the coin toss?
Yeah.
You think they're going to pick tails? They're going to score right off the
No,
kickoff.
they're going to do a defense, and then the Chiefs are going to score, and then the Eagles are going to score.
Oh.
And then it's going to go into double overtime.
Oh, then it's next score wins.
Yeah. So.
Whoa. And then, who's it going to be?
Well, it might not go into that. And I just think Barkley's going to get the ball, run down the field, get touchdowns, tie it up for overtime, score in overtime, win the game.
Okay. And your final score?
30.
Okay.
32.
30-32. Okay. If it's going to go into overtime, it's probably going to be a 3 or 6 point win.
Yeah,
3 or 6.
30-37.
30-37. Okay. So there'll be an extra point in there too?
Yep.
Okay. Good. Well, so you got 37-30 Eagles. I went 30-28 Chiefs. So, yeah, and I don't even know who I want to win. Because think about it. If the Chiefs win, we'll have seen history. And it's kind of cool to see history. I mean, if you hate the Chiefs...
Unless you hate the team.
And you do?
They're my third to least favorite.
Would you say that constitutes hate, or is it just a strong dislike?
You know what? Grandpa tells me not to say hate. So I'm going to say I really, 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 really dislike them.
Okay. That's
Especially
less than hate.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I probably should not feed your hatred by sitting here and saying, "Oh, I hate Aaron Rodgers and I hate the Packers."
I really 1 million more
1
times.
million reallys.
Really hate all of those teams.
Strongly dislike.
Strongly dislike.
There. That's a safe word to say, I would say. Okay.
Okay.
Well, if we can flag down your mom, she peeked in on us. But hey, maybe we should thank all of our fans, relatives, friends for watching.
What was the Super Bowl last year?
Niners, Chiefs, yeah.
And the Niners stink this year.
Yeah, injuries, got them. But yeah, thanks to all our viewers. We are up to 60 subscribers on YouTube.
And we need like 1 million to actually get the money.
I think it's 1,000. So we probably went up from about 40 to 60 this year.
That's pretty good.
I think if we gain 20 subscribers every single year, by the time you're my age, you might have 1,000 subscribers. So we gotta do something. If we want more subscribers, you know what we should ask? We should ask our viewers. If you don't have a YouTube sign-in, just make one. Make one, and then they can subscribe to us, and they can like us, and they can comment. They can say, "Hey, you guys are great. I can't sleep, but when I watch your show, I fall right asleep."
Okay, so you're calling this a bedtime story show.
I'm just saying maybe for some people. You know, some people say, "Oh, your voice, I just fall straight asleep." And some people might say, "You know what? I love your show because I win all this money at the casino when I bet on the teams that you say to pick." Or they might just say, "You know what? We like the content because we like watching Danny's knowledge in football just grow and grow and grow." That's why I would watch.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, do you have anything else to say to our loyal fans? Will we be back for year 3? Do you want to do this next year as a 9-year-old or 8, almost 9-year-old next fall?
I'll be 8 and is there a game on September 15th?
I would guess not when there was last year, right? Because did you go to that?
Or there was this year because I went to.
Or
was there
you didn't go. You know what? You thought about going to. I think the Vikings were playing like Houston, or the Vikings were playing San Francisco maybe, and the Bears were playing Houston on Sunday night.
On my birthday.
And it would just seem like the way the calendar usually falls, your birthday is not on a Sunday in back-to-back years. Although it could be on a Monday, and then there could be a game on your birthday. So
it's probably going to be on a Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, hey, then you can just do whatever you want. Then you don't have to feel like.
Or we would have this on my birthday then.
Oh, would you do it on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good birthday celebration just to kick it off before you get your dinner and your cake and your presents. Cool. All right. Well, are they gonna help us out? Are they gonna? Lori, hello. She just straight up walked away from us.
Okay, I'll just.
Do you want to turn it off? Okay. Let's do this.
Hopefully we're gonna do this a lot next year.
I hope so. Enjoy the Super Bowl, people. We like doing this.
Eagles, Eagles, Eagles.
Do you know what their chant is? They go EAGLES. EA.
EAGLES.
There you do it. You got it.
All
Eagles. All right.
Peace out, bro, Shaka.
Yeah. See you next time, fans.
So how do I do this?
Hit that red button to stop it. Did it stop?